With Colby Covington losing to Joaquin Buckley, this leaves the question, what can Colby Covington possibly do next? Colby Covington said that he still has a lot of fight left in him. He was just getting warmed up in that fight, and we'll touch on that in just a second. We'll get into the whole video. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk about Colby Covington. So, the stoppage with Joaquin Buckley, and this isn't exactly anything new that I'm presenting to you right now, it is the best thing that could have happened to Colby Covington. He got injured right at the beginning of the fight. His eye was bugging him the whole time. The doctor stopped it. He wanted to keep fighting, and he truthfully was. And while Joaquin was absolutely destroying him, the man was getting annihilated, right? He was starting to have a few moments, and you could make the argument from Colby's case that he was just getting going, and he was only picking up the pace. He also said that he took this fight on short notice. He was busy campaigning. The point being, the stars aligned for Colby to lose in a particular way. So he hasn't lost everything just yet. While everybody is laughing at him through the MMA community right now, at least he still puts himself in a position where he can fight somebody of significance, perhaps having another main event spot. So I wanted to take a look at the UFC rankings today, and let's talk about who Colby Chaos Covington could potentially fight next, and could he beat anybody, okay? Colby is going to want to fight a top contender. Colby's going to want a main event fight. He can still get that. He has the name for it. While he's not some crazy draw, I think he can do another thing like headline a UFC fight night, okay? So, what I do believe is going to happen, he's going to have to look to the bottom of the division, okay? He's not going to get anybody unranked. At the time of recording this video, Colby is probably going to, if I had to guess, he's going to bounce down to number 9. Like, Gary's got to be above him. I don't know about Gilbert Burns, so we'll see how that all turns out. To be honest with you, I could see them actually matching up Colby and Wonderboy. We know that Wonderboy Thompson has been a target of Colby's for a long time. It's a favorable matchup, but then Wonderboy Thompson also isn't accepting fights with wrestlers at this point in his career. I thought, you know what's funny? I thought that said Marlon Moraes. I was like, huh? But no. I can't also see him wanting to fight Marlon Moraes. Carlos Prates, no way. Vicente Luque is an interesting one. I could see him taking that fight, and Colby would just be yapping at him, and it's a winnable fight for him. If you're also looking for winnable fights for Colby, how many fights does Colby actually have left? He's at the end of his career. There's no way that he can take on any type of contender. Is it at this point in his career where he should start looking for some sort of money fights? I could see him trying to get a Conor McGregor fight. Michael Chandler might want to move up. Dustin Poirier might want to move up. We know that, and I don't know. I'll say this very quickly in case it was announced by the time this video gets out. Poirier has been talking about getting something cooked up, okay? Oliveira has also spoken about moving up the division. We know Arman Sarukian is fighting Islam Makhachev. Maybe that's something that he'd want to do in the meantime. We don't exactly know. He just got a big win, but then again, he might just be waiting for the winner of Islam and Arman. I just know that the interest has been expressed there. I wonder if anybody else would move up to the 170 division. But regardless, another thing that Colby Covington could do is actually just wait and insert himself, weasel his way into a backup spot against like a Bilal Muhammad. There's no way he's going to fight Leon Edwards again. Rachmanov, no. Not Usman again. Della Maddalena, no way. Sean Brady, no way. Ian Machado Gary, no. Like, there are not a lot of fights for Colby right now. But the problem is, Colby is still going to yap. Like, he has his own weird way of getting away with all this, because he's even been asked about Ian Gary again, and he's like, I gave him the conditions to take the fight, and he refused to do that. So now I'm sitting here like, I'm ready, I'll fight him, but he just needs to do these 3 things. And it's something that's so outrageous that Colby can kind of get away with it. It doesn't look good on him. And the problem is, I personally think that Colby's done. Like, he'll need a Nick Diaz or something, which is also possible. Nick Diaz coming back again, but that fight's just going to get canceled over and over and over again. He's stuck in such a high-level division against such top talent, and he's wasted his prime. He's thrown it away. He's almost, 37 years old? He clearly doesn't have anything left in the tank. All he fought Joaquin Buckley with was heart. There was no cardio on display. There was no technique on display. He had one good tornado kick, which was even like, it didn't even really land flush. It kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest. Joaquin, to be fair, was a bad matchup for Colby Covington. I always thought, I thought that he was going to get bullied in there, and he kind of did. And I regret not betting on that fight, to be honest with you. It was one of those fights where I wanted to cheer for Colby. I'm a Colby Covington fan, by the way. I enjoy the antics that he brings every single time. So, yeah, I also really like Buckley, too. It was one of those fights I didn't want to... I was a little bit disappointed watching because one of those guys had to lose, and it kind of hurt because everybody's laughing at Colby, watching him get absolutely brutalized the way he did. I just don't think that he has any fight left in him. He's almost 37 years old. He's got more stuff going on, whether you want to make fun of him for campaigning or not, because I know there's a lot of conversation online, like whether or not Colby's actually in the club. Regardless, he's doing well for himself outside of this. He's almost 37 years old. He clearly doesn't have the technique. He is part of the, which is weird to say, he's part of the older generation of welterweights at this point. He's too one-dimensional, and his wrestling isn't even that good, and his cardio and pressure was the biggest thing that he weaponized, and he's no longer capable of doing that. I don't care that he said this fight was on short notice. Colby Covington has not looked the same. He had an excuse against Leon Edwards. Maybe, I'll say maybe, you know what? Maybe he's right. Colby Covington had something going on, but not twice in a row. We've seen Colby Covington officially washed, and I don't think that there's anything that screams in these divisions right now that really show Colby that he can get a good fight. Like, he might be able to beat a Dustin Poirier, but is Poirier really going to go up and fight Colby Covington? I don't think so. We know Dustin Poirier is going to have one more fight. Max Holloway's not going to move up. That's 2 divisions up. Michael Chandler, maybe. Conor McGregor, maybe. But I don't even think those are the options. So I leave this with you. What do you think is going to be next for Colby Covington? I don't think he's going to retire. He did say that he does have more fight left in him, so I don't know if he has something cooking. Regardless, he has one final chance. He has one more main event. With the way that fight ended, he has one more main event. He has one more card with a whole spotlight on him. After that, it's complete irrelevancy. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you very much for watching. Check out this video on screen if you want to keep watching the channel. YouTube thinks you like this video the best. Take care, everybody.